Hello and welcome back to the Football Chat podcast. It is episode number 73 today, and unfortunately we're going to be talking about VAR. It's something that nobody wants to really talk about. It's luckily evaded all of the news in pretty much all of last season, to be fair. VAR still had its moments, but predominantly it stayed out of the news. This season though, the start of this year, the VAR has not been good enough. VAR decisions, the time it's taking, correctness of the decisions has not been on point. And so now we have to talk about, I've titled this How to Fix VAR, but
this is I think I just want to clarify that this is solely for me about the Premier League VAR, which I think says something more about the humans operating it, because we see it used in the Champions League, it's perfectly fine. We see it used in the Bundesliga.
So we've watched a lot of Italian football on here. We've never really had a problem with some of the decisions. A lot of the time,
they're quick, they're simple, they're easy, they're done.
And I don't think the Odegaard foul on Eriksen that led up to the United goal is given in this area. We'll start with that one. Odegaard.
It weren't a foul.
He doesn't touch the ball, but it's not a foul. Football's becoming a little bit soft at the moment. I don't want to sound like one of those blokes who you can't do anything anymore. You can't 2-foot someone and break their shin and get away with it. Mental. But there is, I think it is gone a little bit too far the other way now.
I said this while we were live. I do believe that the longer a referee looks at a decision, they're more likely to change it.
Interesting
I think
point.
The longer that ref looks at that monitor and sees, and the more times he sees Odegaard not getting the ball, the more he's thinking that's a foul, that's a foul, that's a foul.
Yeah.
I just think it's too. I don't like the fact that they only show slow-mo replays, and it's cost. I look back to the Reece James handball against Liverpool last season with Anthony Taylor.
Yeah.
It's not a red card, because what the problem is, the slow-mo, the still image, the slow-mo still image looked like that Reece James purposely did it, whereas the ball did just hit his arm. But there's loads of other things. I don't like the fact that they only use slow-mos and still images. I think the offsides. What happened to this player advantage? We give
I was going to say, we'll talk about the examples this weekend. In the Everton-Liverpool game, Cody is onside when he scores
against Liverpool, and Liverpool, on Thursday, and that's just silly.
Why are we not giving the benefit of the doubt thing? I think the VAR rules are just the fact they change seemingly every week.
Yeah.
It isn't good, and that's the problem. Is all these refs are of course different. I think that's the thing we need to realise is, as much as it's video assistant referee, there is still human error involved in every decision.
It's just a human watching a screen.
There's going to be luck that goes both ways. Because I would take, as a Chelsea fan, it's an easy example against Tottenham, furious that the VAR has absolutely screwed us over with poor refereeing decisions. 3 weeks later against West Ham, we have similarly poor decisions, but this time it favours Chelsea. So is it just like refereeing used to be, and the fact there will be human errors, but luck swings both ways?
I think the big thing is if the referees were mic'd up.
I would agree massively, yes.
Because the communication is shocking.
I'd love to know what they're saying.
Because for me, there's so many decisions that don't even get checked.
And if they were describing their thought process as they were doing it, say Mike Dean was like, but have a look at this angle, or talk about this as he's sat in his little room, and that's another problem. Why do they need to go? Why does it take so long for the ref to go from, hang on, I need to talk to VAR, to the screen? Let's bin off that bit.
Just go to the screen
immediately.
And then let the ref look at the screen, let the video assistant referee look at the screen, they look at it together and they make a decision together.
I think there's also a mistake in that the video assistant referee is the one making the decisions. If the ref sees something he's not happy with and wants to just check it, he should go over to the screen off his own accord, and then maybe the video assistant referee can decide what replays to show stuff. Even then, I think that's all a bit strange, isn't it?
I think it should be like, this is cricket. If I look at cricket, so the umpires are all, the third umpire, so the VAR, is mic'd up. And they ask, and the umpires get reviews and the players get reviews.
The problem is, it is impossible for the VAR to get the right images every time because there isn't enough time. There's only, they've only got a few minutes. So they pick up the best replays and it doesn't really show the best things. But yeah, I think the time needs to be taken down. I also think they need to make it more about the people on field making decisions. Because for example, the Brighton goal that was ruled out because Welbeck was in an offside position on Wepu, wasn't it?
No, it was in Wepu. Who didn't even touch the ball.
I think he does get touched on the ball, but no one protests it, and it's not the guy that scores the goal. And it denies a very good Alexis McAllister goal for something none of the Leicester defenders are complaining about.
No.
None of them even put their hand up. If they stick their hand up and the captain goes, yeah, mate, let's review it. Let's do that. Let's make captains. Let's give them, deliberation things, so they can...
like cricket.
Demand a review.
The captain gets 3 reviews.
And we need to mic up the referees. I think we need to have a review system. I think the whole system
if you can
is the wrong way around.
What all the officials, their thought process, if you can hear what they're thinking, if you can hear what they're saying, it is much clearer to work out where the problem is.
Whether it is the VAR officials not following, whether it's the officials not following the rules, or whether it's I guess VAR showing the wrong replays, or
it's ridiculous.
I think it opens up a wider question about the standard of officiating as well. I think the English referees have consistently been worse and are getting worse.
Even the new ones.
And I think as much as it owes to the FA not kind of promoting refereeing enough, and then obviously they got rid of a lot of referees, then lockdown came and a lot of referees didn't return after that. Mm-hmm. They just called it a day there. They enjoyed not being called a wanker every week. I think some of the reason that the referee standard has dropped I think the blame does lay on the fans. We do hound the referees for every decision. Even now, even when we've recorded podcasts this year where we've been talking about Anthony Taylor, for example, the shocking decisions he's made. There's no why who would want to be a referee? Yeah. I don't look at how Anthony Taylor has been abused for some of his decisions this year. I want to be a referee. I think, yes, you could say it's part and parcel of the job that you are going to get complaints, but I do think
agree
to a certain extent, the blame for the poor referees and the lack of referees does lay.
Anyone obviously should be abused or anything, and I get it for the littler decisions, but I'm talking about the big shocking decisions.
Yeah, of course. It should be questioned as to how he's got that wrong, but I think the manner in which some people go about it does then lead to less people wanting to be referees.
Yeah.
And I think that has then led to a lower standard of officiating. We've got less referees, meaning that people get pushed up through the system quicker. Meaning that people who aren't as good have got to the highest level.
Who
are just not really cutting the mustard.
But they can't control, obviously they're still learning to use VAR as well, because they've come from the Championship.
Because so many refs have just decided to call it a day.
But this problem is only in England, because you look at VAR and you look everywhere else, it works superbly. It's just...
I do like Italian football, how they let it flow a bit more.
Yeah.
Someone goes down off, So if there's a bit of a stern challenge, everyone gets on with it.
I don't want VAR checks that are lasting 4 minutes.
No, I mean, it kills the game, it kills the flow, it can completely change a game. If a team's on top, but then everyone pauses for 4 minutes, it allows the other team a chance to get back in the game. And it's just too artificial at the moment. Is there...
I'm interested to see how semi-automated VAR offside works at the World Cup. Because if that works, then
the tracker and the ball could improve the accuracies of offsides and the speed in which offsides are called.
But if it does, I want to see it implemented as soon as possible.
My only fear is that the tracker inside the ball, if you think about it, that ball, it's going to be pinpoint, isn't it, the tracker?
Yeah.
So are we going to see even tighter offsides that it's just that's ridiculous. He's offside by literal a pinky.
Yeah.
Because is it going to create offsides that tight?
And I think there should be a review system for the players and the refs. All the officials should be mic'd up. Ref, linesman, fourth official, VAR officials, the whole lot. And I think there's got to be quicker decisions. And
I agree.
don't just show slow motion.
I don't know if VAR is the problem. I think in terms of being able to go up to someone else watching the game and they be able to see replays and give an informed decision on what's happened just in the play, I think that as a concept works fine. I think the implementation of VAR has not been effective, and I think the people operating the VAR has not been effective. But the actual VAR should not be scrapped, and it would be incredibly pointless to get rid of VAR.
And you can't now. If you scrap VAR, then all everyone's going to say is, "Oh, well, that decision would have been given with VAR. Oh, that would have been offside with VAR. Oh, that would have been onside with VAR."
I think it does improve accuracy. Yes, there are still human errors, and we have seen a lot of big mistakes this year. Don't get me wrong.
The Villa City game proves the fact that it's not VAR; it's the officials. Because that was a perfectly good goal for Coutinho, but because the referee blew his whistle and the linesman put his flag up before the ball hit the back of the net, they couldn't go check it.
I can't understand that. There's a direct.
Literally, I've never seen that before. That is, and the fact that there's no there's no consequence for that, because that is horrific.
Yeah.
How you can get that so wrong?
There's a directory that you shouldn't be raising your flag unless you're incredibly sure, until after the play stops so that VAR can check it.
Because it's not even like
why would he raise his flag?
Coutinho's behind him.
Why would he? It doesn't make any sense why he would raise his flag.
If I was a linesman, even though I was very confident, I would never raise the flag.
You'd wait until after.
Yeah.
You just wait.
Exactly.
Unless the bloke has literally stood on the keeper.
Even that, he's obviously behind the goal.
And everyone else is...
As long as he's behind the goal. I was furious as a bit. I don't get how you can get that so wrong.
Yeah, it was absolutely shocking. But, questions
it can
need
be
to be asked.
fixed, but it's not VAR, it's the officials using it. The video part of it is good, the assistant part of it is good, the referee part of it needs a bit of work.
Is it that we need more training? Is it that we need more encouragement for young referees to get involved and to stick with the ladder of learning to be a referee?
I think you should still have to do referee courses.
Is it that the pay is too low?
Once you qualify, you don't have to do it again. It's like Anthony Taylor doesn't have to do another course to make sure he still knows what he's doing.
Yeah, well, obviously they do get all the Premier League refs will get the updated rules and they'll have that as a thing.
We lost Mike Dean, John Moss and Martin Atkinson.
All in recent years.
Who were all three quite decent referees.
I think that's caused a lot of problems because, as I've mentioned, a lot of referees going and then a lot more referees during lockdown. I think it has just left us with a lot less referees and a lot poorer referees.
Yeah.
And I do think this will only continue unless something changes. Whether that's increasing the pay for referees, whether that's increasing the want for referees.
I do feel we don't appreciate the good referees. There are some referees
because every time you think about referee, if I named a referee to anyone, the first thing they think is when that referee has had a bad day against their team, causing their team to lose or something like that.
We shouldn't have a go at refs if they give a foul the wrong way, or if they go 50-50 one way or the other.
A referee, unlike a player, can never have a blinder. You never go, oh, what a performance from the referee. He smashed it today. Because if they call it right, you go, yeah, the ref was good.
Yeah.
For a change, the ref was good. But then, if he has a stinker, it's the worst thing ever. The ref needs to be, split in half and put in prison for 9 years or something.
I think there's just only Michael Oliver has done a European game.
Yeah.
In the last 2 or 3 years.
Didn't we have some refs go do the Euros?
Michael Oliver did the Euros.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's a bit. But you look at the Champions League refs. They're mostly good. The Serie A refs are perfect. The France League refs are perfect. I think that's more because the fans aren't calling them dicks, most of the time.
Well, they're saying it in different languages, so they don't know what they're saying. Yeah. Because if a Spanish man calls up Michael Oliver a tosser,
he don't know.
He doesn't know he's calling him a tosser.
But if I'm just using Leeds as an example because I see it every week, every time I watch Leeds. The whole stand stands up and
same with Goodison Park. When we watched the game on Saturday,
and that annoyed me because that was a good game. That was Taylor, but he did all right.
He did all right in that game, other than when he didn't give the Cody goal, and that potentially could relegate Leeds. Everton. But
that wasn't his fault. That's VAR's fault.
That potentially relegates Everton. That potentially brings Liverpool back in the fight because the points have gone different ways. Obviously, if it goes down to 2 points, you're not going to pinpoint that game exactly, but runs and stuff. If Everton picked up 3 points there, who's saying that what the confidence could have done going into the next game?
Fans do also need to realise that, for West Ham, I'm understandably furious at the Chelsea game, but there will be another time, or there has been another time, where they have been lucky with VAR. Yeah, so every football fan moans that
Yeah.
they've got no luck, but they do get lucky.
I genuinely don't know
will
anyone though that wants to be a referee. It
No.
seems to be the worst job in the world.
You have to have a lot of balls.
Well, you've got to really not give a shit about what people think, and that's impossible.
You've got
it's in our human nature to care. So I do think
that's why you get shit refs, because you get the ones that
Yeah.
I don't give one. I'm going to do what I want, what I think's right.
I think for the refereeing,
Quite
for the officiating standard to improve over the next 10 years, it's going to take effort from the FA and it's going to take effort from the fans.
And the problem is,
We need to be less abusive, guys.
Yeah.
Let's all collectively
what that also
be
does
less
is
abusive.
and I say this quite a lot, you get crowd decisions from the referee. If the whole crowd stands up and starts shouting things at them, they're more likely to give the decision their way.
I'd agree.
I don't like that at all. I think you've got to stick to your guns.
Anyway, I've gone a little bit far from VAR, but I mean, it's a broader discussion around
To be
officiating,
fair,
I guess,
it's more
as well.
just about officiating.
Yeah, the way to fix VAR is by making the officials better, because VAR as a concept is fine. Maybe the implementation hasn't been
And
perfect.
if we can't make officials better, just miking them up so we know what the
Yes,
thought process
please.
is. So we can realise, so there's better communication to the fans and players, and so we can realise what is actually going on.
Let's
Because
got
if
more
we can-
transparency.
If we can hear what they're saying, we can go, right, the problem is there. That's the problem. He's the problem. She's the problem.
And not only do I want the VAR, not only do I want the referee mic'd up, I want the fourth official. I want to know what those managers are saying to each other. If anything, it's purely entertainment.
Actually, hear Conte and Tuchel.
Yeah, exactly. Because then you know where the blame lies. At the moment, it looks like they're equal. If Conte though is calling him a massive wanker all game, I'd love to be able to hear that. Or if
I
Tuchel
think
doing
the
the
fourth
same.
official, I think it's another thing that you can
I'd
change.
like to see more.
Fourth official, they're obviously all referees. Most
Maybe
people
they
know
get involved
that.
with the VAR.
They should be able to get involved.
Maybe
I
they
think if a
both
fourth
stand there.
official standing by the side of the pitch sees a decision that they're not sure about, they
Maybe
can
they
get on the
also-
mic to the referee, to get on the mic to the VAR and say, are you checking that decision? I think it was wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I there's no way them standing there like a melon just to put the board up for the substitutes.
Or they should also be able to go and look over at the board with the ref. They're
Yeah.
usually by the monitor anyway. Why don't they both have a look? Two brains is better than one. If they both have a look, they can discuss their opinions. Maybe we'll be able to come to a better decision.
Yeah.
A fairer decision. It'll be interesting to see. I think to be able to make VAR better, to conclude, we need...
The one thing that
Okay, go
won't
on.
fix it
Finally.
is the PGMOL apologising for getting decisions wrong.
Please say sorry.
That's not going to change a thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't win you points, that. But I don't like this whole
Their
checking system.
investigation, because if they try and overturn results this weekend, there will be uproar. So that's obviously not
No,
going
what
to
they've done is
happen.
they've come out and said that they got the
That-
Chelsea West Ham decision wrong and the Newcastle decision.
Well, can they go back a few weeks and
That's what I'm
also
saying.
get the support for the
You
Chelsea
did
side one?
apologise for 2 years ago when Anthony Taylor cost us a FA Cup final.
Yeah,
Was he
can we
sent
overturn
off
every
Kovacic?
result and just hand out all these
Go back to
trophies again?
2015.
Every time anyone's ever been wronged, we'll sort it out. It's
They
impossible.
can't do that. They've got to
Instead
fix
of
it now.
focusing on the past, we need to focus on the future and improve it for the future. In conclusion, okay,
Why don't we go to Italy and see what they're doing?
right. In conclusion,
Yes.
a few points. The way you fix VAR is one, more transparency
Yeah, definitely.
from the
Definitely.
officials to us watching the viewers. We need a higher standard of officiating, more training, more encouragement for young officials, and what else? What else do we want? We want mics. We want fourth officials get involved. We want decision systems.
Yes.
We want the captain to have choices. It's,
Yeah.
they want them to be appealing decisions. Yes, they're probably going to appeal every goal then that their team concedes, but at least they've actively chosen.
And that's a waste of their. They should have They should have
Yeah.
have like 2 or 3.
Something like that would fit perfectly. 2 or 3 would, pretty much solve every problem.
Well,
'Cause
if you've got 1 or half, maybe.
I think, therefore, we decrease the amount that the VAR is solely on a bloke sat upstairs. Instead, he's the one. He can use that time to prepare a few videos. Now we've smashed it. We've got exactly the
What
replays
do
the
the-
ref needs to see.
What do the VAR assistant referees do? So you have your VAR official, then you have the VAR assistant referee.
Maybe they are clipping stuff up.
I don't know what they do. Unless I hope that's not like the assistant referee, like linesman. That's not the one who does the lines.
I also don't think that maybe those guys shouldn't be referees possibly up there. They should be people who have a rule book there
Yes.
and know how to edit.
That's it. Oh,
Let's get some guys who are
that's the
really
thing.
good.
I don't know, but
If they
It
could put
should
some
be-
special effects on,
It should
really
be
spice it
linesmen
up.
and lineswomen drawing the lines on, because they are the ones that call the offsides. It shouldn't be a referee.
With a physical pen?
No, but no, you know what I'm saying.
You know what?
To be fair,
Close.
get an artist, draw the picture, draw the lines on. Might be a bit longer than 4
I was
minutes.
going to say, we really got to hurry up because there's some guy in the crowd calling it a massive toss spot. But yeah, right.
We don't need colouring the black and white.
Yeah. That is all for today, guys. If you've got any ideas or suggestions of how to fix VAR, or if you agree with us or disagree, get involved in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. Of course, if you are listening on Spotify, head on over to the YouTube. And again, to the people on Spotify, I apologise. We've once again forgot to put Premier League predictions on there.
Dear.
We will definitely do it for Game Week 7. This is becoming a thing now, and I don't want it to be. We're going to smash it for Game Week 7, don't you worry. Maybe worry. Anyway, yeah. And other things, of course, this comes out on the Wednesday, so you would have enjoyed stream last night. Tune in again tonight. And if you want to see us at the weekend, we are going to be live on Saturday for Manchester City versus Tottenham. Live reactions, commentary, analysis, brought to you from half an hour before kickoff. So join us there. But yeah, that is all for today. Thank you all very much for watching or listening. And we'll see you next time.
See ya.